What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you've all had a great Wednesday as we're midway through the week. We're getting on through the month as we get to the latter half of July. We have a little interesting area to talk about as far as the tropics. Right off the coast of the southeast, there's a chance of tropical development right off the coast of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, off a stalled out frontal boundary that could potentially maybe get a little tropical system going here, maybe a depression. But we're going to really talk about this, get about as detailed as we can, because it's all kind of developing very quickly over the next few days, and really break this down, how it could affect the southeast during our weather. So we're going to break that down for you guys. If you guys have not subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button. I try to post videos every day, even when the weather's kind of slow like it is right now. But I try to keep you guys updated, so thank you all for the incredible support over the last several months and the last year and a half I've been doing YouTube. And like the video if you like it, and thank you all. If there's anything I can pray about, definitely put it in the comments so we can pray for you guys. People in the comments can pray for you all, and prayer is powerful, so let's take advantage of that. So let's get going here. So I'm going to show you kind of what's going on here in the southeast. First off, check out the dust. Not the dust, my bad. The smoke. The smoke is starting to cover up the entire state of Tennessee and North Carolina, and even the far up states of South Carolina. Here in Columbia, where I'm at, Columbia, South Carolina, I don't see really visibly really much dust out there right now. I keep saying dust, I mean smoke. My bad, guys. I guess I'm thinking about what happened last year when the Saharan dust came through, but I'm not really seeing any haze outside from the smoke aloft in the atmosphere. But it's very interesting because you can certainly see it on satellite here over the state of North Carolina big time. So it's very interesting for sure. This is creating some hazardous conditions as far as the air quality. So we need to pay attention to this. This will continue to drift overnight more south. So I think areas deeper into South Carolina, maybe northern Georgia, will see more of a haze in the sky tomorrow, especially with not as high rain chances, not as many clouds. You're definitely going to start to see a haze in the clouds. If you live deeper in South Carolina, you're not seeing it today. Smoky conditions. But anyways, this is basically a stalled out frontal boundary. There's actually a little bit of dry air up here. Some dew points are lower in the 60s, so it's a little bit more comfortable in these areas. And you can tell where the convection is blowing up down here. That's not is more of a stable atmosphere. The dry air is probably doing the dry air. Probably by the smoke is probably actually helping to stabilize the atmosphere even more, but not necessarily. In fact, we had a ton of Saharan dust in the atmosphere last year. We had some big time thunderstorms. It didn't do anything to that, so that's maybe a little factor, but not much. But big time storms blowing up down here in Alabama and especially Georgia right now. But this is basically a stalled out frontal boundary over Alabama and Georgia. This is going to slowly drift off the coast of the Carolinas and Georgia, and it has a chance over the Gulf Stream, which is right in here, which is basically an area of very warm water, warmer water than other areas of the ocean in the southeast. And sea surface temperatures higher can promote maybe a brief tropical system to develop. So we'll check it out. Let's check out what the National Hurricane Center is saying. You read the breakdown right here. It's exactly what it says. Basically a broad trough. It's basically a dissipated frontal boundary that really could just drift over to southeast and develop right here. And so it's weird to see an X over land, right? But it's pretty much showing pretty much what it is. That's a front right there that actually can turn into a tropical system, if you will. So it has a 30% chance of developing into a depression over the next 5 days. So it's something we need to definitely check out, pay attention, because it could deliver some weather here in the southeast, mainly in the form of big time swells, basically bigger waves across the southeast, higher rip currents this weekend across the southeast. Maybe some showers and storms across the coastal areas of Georgia, Carolinas, and Florida, but we'll check that out. I want to mention with these storms, a lot of times they end up being overproducers, meaning sometimes they're downplayed big time, but all of a sudden, within 12 to 24 hours, they all of a sudden are a named storm, kind of like Danny. Y'all remember Tropical Storm Danny several weeks back that looked like just a tropical wave kind of meandering into the southeast, and all of a sudden it gets upgraded to 40-mile-per-hour tropical storm, a named storm. So the next name is Fred. So old Flintstone Fred. So who knows? I can't totally knock out the chance of a named storm developing here. Does it look like it will? I don't really think so. But you can't take away the chances. I would say that. So we'll look at the models. Not get too deep in this because really we're not in short range models yet. But as we're getting into tomorrow, just some afternoon storms along that frontal boundary, and then check out the low pressure. There it is. It pops off. It tries to get over to the ocean right here, over the southeast coast, and then around Saturday morning into Saturday, maybe a low pressure pops here. Maybe a tropical wave depression gets going here. But whatever does form, it's not going to move back into the coast. It's going to move away, and that's all she wrote. You barely see anything, right? So it's really hard to tell what happens here. But we'll check out the European model from earlier today. Get into Saturday and check it out. See the dark greens? That's basically it trying to show a low pressure popping off the coast here, right over the Gulf Stream, where waters are warm enough for tropical development. There's a couple other things that just aren't favorable. Just usually stalled out frontal boundaries don't produce big time tropical systems. They're normally quick. They sometimes can pop off a quick named storm, and then they normally drift away. But it'll be something something interesting to check out. See if it'll meander off the coast, produce big time waves. So anybody at the beach this weekend, along the Carolina coastline, Georgia coastline, there might be some bigger waves than normal. But check out the Canadian model here. Kind of shows the same thing. Just some activity off the coast. It doesn't show some full-fledged hurricane or anything, but there's the low pressure popping off the coast, kind of around the same area the GFS does. So just a little spin up, maybe. We'll see if it can get going here. But check out the sea surface temperatures. This is in Celsius. I'll tell you what, the Gulf of Mexico is starting to heat up. Temperatures pushing the maybe upper 80s in some places in the Gulf of Mexico. So the Gulf of Mexico's getting to that time of the year where it's starting to turn into a big old bathtub, and where tropical systems love to explode and do something what we call RI, which is rapid intensification. But check out the warm waters of the Gulf Stream right here, where this system's going to try to pop off here. A lot of times they like to overproduce in this area. As far as the rest of the tropics are going, I made a video about a week or so ago talking about when we start to get into about the last week of July, we need to start paying attention to the first couple weeks of August. Well, the first week definitely of August is in the long range now. Starting to get into the mid range, and still there's just no signs of any really big time tropical development at all. So we'll continue to monitor that, but all signs point to it really ramping up in August at some point. So don't let your guard down. We're steadily getting closer to the peak of hurricane season. Hurricane season, it literally kind of goes like this. It kind of scoots up and up and up, and then it just skyrockets when you get into late August and September, and peak season occurs then. So if you're in the coastal areas, just take little systems like this as a time to prepare, a time to learn, educate yourself, and definitely stay weather aware out there. But that's all I got, guys. The weather continues to be kind of slow, which we anticipate for July. But the smoke is very interesting, so be careful out there with that if you have trouble breathing in certain conditions. But that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in, and y'all have a blessed evening.